Today's story is about a servant who has an affair with the king's wife. When the king finds out, the servant runs away to avoid punishment. He changes his appearance and ends up working at a church. But he doesn't know that the nuns there, who seem holy and pure, are actually dealing with tough lives and strange temptations. As he becomes part of this new place, a lot of unexpected things start happening, changing his life and the lives of the nuns around him.
Make sure he sees your arm. Get on top of him.
The story begins with a nun named Fernanda. She's walking through a thick jungle, guiding her donkey on the way to the church. When she arrives, another nun, Sister Ginevra, stops her and asks where she was the night before. Fernanda shrugs and says, "Like always, my donkey ran off, and I went looking for it." But Sister Ginevra doesn't believe her. "I locked the door properly," she says. "How could it have run away?" While they're arguing, a man named Lurko walks past and says politely, "Good morning." But instead of greeting him back, the nuns snap at him and shoo him away rudely. Later, all the nuns gather in the church for their morning prayers. The head nun, Sister Maria, sees Fernanda and questions her too. "Where were you last night?" she asks. Fernanda gives the same answer about the donkey. Sister Maria doesn't look convinced, but lets it go for now. Meanwhile, Sister Ginevra is flipping through a book when she stumbles on a strange picture and some odd rituals described inside. It unsettles her. She quickly shuts the book and puts it away. Elsewhere in the church, another nun, Sister Alessandra, is visited by her father. He's come to talk about her future. He says he's trying to find a good husband for her, but complains that the best men are asking for large dowries. Alessandra suggests he donate less to the church so they can afford it. But her father refuses, saying that wouldn't be right. "Don't worry about marriage," he says. "Married or not, you'll still have a good life." Alessandra is heartbroken. All she wants is a happy married life. The next day, we see Alessandra walking with Fernanda and Ginevra. They're carrying the clothes they've knitted. Alessandra tells them about her talk with her father, and the other two comfort her. But as they talk, they notice Lurko nearby, watching them while he works. The way he looks at them feels creepy and wrong. The sisters get angry. They throw his things around, and still not satisfied, they even attack him out of frustration. Not far from the church, Father Tommaso is heading to the market to sell the clothes the nuns made. On the road, he sees Lurko, who looks upset. "Father," Lurko says, "I don't want to work at the church anymore." Tommaso tries to calm him down and asks him to stay, but Lurko refuses and walks away. A few miles from the church, we meet a wealthy man named Lord Bruno. He's having dinner with his wife, Francesca. Bruno talks proudly about his money and success, but Francesca isn't really listening. She keeps glancing at their servant, Musette, and Musette keeps sneaking glances back. It's clear the two are having an affair. That night, Francesca and Musette are in bed together. She tells him, "My husband doesn't make me happy. All he ever talks about is himself." Just as they're getting ready for a second round, they hear Bruno coming. Musette jumps out the window to escape. Bruno sees someone running and storms off to search the servants' quarters. Musette beats him there and pretends to be asleep. Bruno checks on every servant, feeling their chest to see whose heart is racing. When he reaches Musette, he's suspicious, but can't tell for sure in the dark. So, he cuts off a small piece of Musette's hair to use as proof. But Musette outsmarts him. As soon as Bruno leaves, Musette cuts small bits of hair from all the other servants. The next morning, Bruno lines everyone up and checks their hair, but since all their hair has been trimmed, he can't figure out who the guilty one is. Furious, he warns them, "Whoever did this, I'll find you and you'll pay." To show he means business, he orders that everyone's hair be cut short. Later that day, Bruno and Francesca sit down to eat together. He warns her, "I know you're part of this. If I catch that servant, you'll both regret it." But Francesca doesn't flinch. "You won't do anything," she says coldly. "All you do is talk." Bruno watches her closely. He starts to suspect Musette is the one. That evening, he sees Musette working outside and Francesca nearby, trying to flirt with him. Musette pulls away, but this time, Bruno sees everything. Furious, he yells, "Catch that servant and bring him to me." Musette runs. Bruno's men chase him into the forest. After a long chase, Musette stumbles across Father Tommaso, who has flipped his cart from drinking too much. All the knitted clothes have fallen into the river. Musette helps him gather everything. Grateful, the father asks who he is. When he learns Musette is homeless, he decides to help. He takes him back to the church. At the church, Father Tommaso gives Musette some food and a place to sleep. He warns him, "If you want peace here, pretend you can't hear or speak. The sisters will leave you alone that way." The next morning, Father introduces Musette to Sister Maria. "This man can do many jobs," he says, "but he's deaf and mute. He can take over for Lurco as the gardener." Maria agrees to hire Musette as the new gardener. But the next day, when Alessandra and Fernanda see him working in the garden, they don't know who he is. Fernanda grabs an axe and storms toward him, shouting, "Who are you? Speak up or I'll make you." Just before she can swing, Alessandra stops her. Sister Maria arrives just in time and explains, "This is our new gardener, Musette. He's deaf and mute, so he can't speak." Fernanda backs off, still eyeing him with suspicion. Later, Sister Maria pulls Alessandra aside and tells her, "The clothes you all worked so hard to knit were stolen by robbers while Father Tommaso was on his way to market. I'm sorry your work was lost." She adds, "To make up for it, we'll bring in extra help so we can make more clothes in less time." She assigns Alessandra a helper, an older nun named Sister Vio. While sewing together, Alessandra accidentally breaks part of the sewing machine. Frustrated, she sneaks off to find Musette and asks him to fix it. But Sister Ginevra sees her slipping away and quietly follows her. Alessandra gives Musette the broken piece and asks for his help. As he works, she starts venting. "I don't want to stay here anymore," she says. "I hate sewing. I just want to live my life freely." Musette stays silent, pretending to be deaf and mute like he was told. Alessandra knows this and feels safe opening up around him, so she continues pouring her heart out. That night, Father Tommaso checks in on Musette. "How was your day?" he asks. "These sisters can be difficult." Musette replies, "Yes, some of them are, but I'll manage." Father reassures him, "Just keep pretending you can't hear or speak, like we agreed. Let me know if anything strange happens." Meanwhile, Fernanda is reading in her room when a rock taps on her window. She opens it to find her childhood friend Marta waiting outside. Excited, she sneaks Marta inside, and they go to Alessandra's room.
I'm Marta.
The three of them drink wine and relax. A little later, Ginevra joins them, and the mood becomes lively as they laugh and swap stories. During their chat, Marta brings up a special herb she says can attract boys if used the right way. The others listen closely, both amused and curious. The next day, Alessandra, clearly influenced by Marta's stories, starts acting on her feelings. While Musette is working, she approaches him with a handkerchief she made. "Here," she says, wiping sweat from his forehead. Then she sits near him, makes small talk, and suddenly kisses him. At first, Musette hesitates, but he gives in and they share an intimate moment. Just then, the church bell rings, snapping them out of it. Alessandra quickly pulls away and hurries to join the others for prayer. While praying, Fernanda notices mud on Alessandra's scarf and dirt under her fingernails. She grows suspicious. Later, while washing clothes with Ginevra, Alessandra shows up looking unusually cheerful. Fernanda asks, "Why are you so happy? And why are your clothes so dirty?" Alessandra teases, "I was working with Musette, that's all." Fernanda and Ginevra exchange glances. Alessandra hardly ever does physical work. Fernanda starts putting the pieces together. That night, Fernanda and Marta sneak into the forest to find the herb Marta had talked about. Once they find it, they boil it into a strange liquid. Marta puts a few drops in Fernanda's eyes and then cuts her own finger, drawing symbols on Fernanda's cheeks with her blood. They don't realize that Sister Ginevra is secretly watching. Afterwards, Fernanda and Marta head to Musette's room. Fernanda tries to scare him with a knife, and then starts trying to seduce him. Musette is confused at first, but eventually gives in. The three of them end up sharing a wild, intimate moment. After it's over, Fernanda and Marta leave the room as if nothing happened. Outside, they bump into Ginevra, who asks, "What were you two doing in there?" Marta brushes her off. "We were just checking something," she says, then walks away. But Ginevra isn't convinced. She knows something's up. The next morning, the bishop arrives for a special visit. Father Tommaso and Sister Maria greet him warmly. Meanwhile, Musette sneaks into Alessandra's room, and the two begin their affair again. But suddenly, Sister Vio enters. At first, neither of them notice her. Musette spots her too late and accidentally speaks out loud. Alessandra is shocked, realizing he can talk. Quickly, She pretends to be helping Vio with something, while Musette hides under the bed. Luckily, Sister Vio doesn't notice anything. She's hard of hearing and misses the whole situation. Musette slips out through the window, quietly and unseen. The next day, Ginevra, now driven by jealousy, starts preparing the same kind of herb. But instead of using it the right way, she drinks it. Under its effects, she cuts her hand and smears her blood on her face. She stumbles into Musette's room, looking wild and unstable. At that moment, Alessandra is confronting Musette, asking, "Why did you lie about being deaf and mute?" Just then, they hear Ginevra's voice. Alessandra hides in a corner, while Musette pretends to be asleep. Ginevra, acting strangely under the herb's influence, walks over to Musette. But then Fernanda's footsteps are heard. In a panic, Ginevra hides in the same corner, only to find herself face to face with Alessandra. Both are shocked to see each other. Fernanda walks into the room, holding a knife. Without saying a word, she ties Musette's hands and covers his eyes. "You're coming with me," Fernanda says coldly, dragging Musette by the arm into the forest. Alessandra and Ginevra follow silently, keeping to the shadows. By the time they reach a clearing deep in the woods, night has fallen. A fire blazes in the center, casting flickering shadows over a circle of girls dancing naked around it. Musette is tied up nearby, visibly shaking with fear. Alessandra whispers, "What is this?" Ginevra answers, "I read about rituals like this once. These girls, they're trying to gain witch-like powers by sacrificing a human." It becomes clear, Fernanda has been sneaking out at night, taking part in these rituals. And now Marta has joined her. As the fire crackles, Fernanda and Marta step forward, preparing to make Musette the sacrifice. "No, please don't kill me," Musette screams. Everyone freezes. He spoke. He's not deaf. He's not mute. The girls gasp in shock. But Fernanda isn't fazed. She raises the knife and steps closer, ready to finish the ritual. Suddenly, Ginevra, still under the effects of the herb she drank, rips off her clothes and joins the frenzied dancers around the fire. Her unhinged energy throws everything into chaos. The girls panic and scatter into the trees. Marta, furious, confronts Ginevra, and the two start fighting. In the midst of the chaos, Fernanda lunges at Musette with the knife, but Alessandra leaps in, grabbing it just in time. A struggle breaks out. Ginevra grabs a stick and strikes Marta, knocking her out cold. Without missing a beat, Ginevra strips Marta of her clothes, puts them on, and takes off on a nearby donkey, riding hard back toward the church. As she nears the church, she screams, "Fernanda is a witch!" Father Bishop steps outside, startled by the shouting. Ginevra cries out again, "Fernanda is a witch!" Just then, Fernanda, Alessandra, and Musette appear from the path behind her. Fernanda, calm and collected, responds, "She's lying. She drank that herb and is rambling nonsense." Ginevra pleads, "No, I'm not lying. They're all in on it. They've both been sleeping with the gardener." Everyone is stunned. Father Bishop turns to Sister Maria for an explanation. But before she can speak, Father Tommaso steps out of her room. A heavy silence falls over the group. No one says a word, but the truth is clear. The next day, Father Bishop hands down punishments to everyone involved. He demands confessions and apologies to God. Father Tommaso, for misusing his role, is punished most severely. He's sent away to serve at a remote church inhabited only by men. Musette, meanwhile, is handed back to Lord Bruno. Bruno's soldiers lock him up. In the cold, damp prison, Bruno visits Musette and says with a cruel smile, "I tied my wife to wild dogs so she'd die slowly. And you? I won't kill you. I'll keep you alive and make sure you suffer more." Then he walks away, leaving Musette in despair. Musette begs the guards for mercy, but they just laugh at him. Back at the church, the sisters, Fernanda, Alessandra, and Ginevra, have a change of heart. They reflect on their mistakes and apologize to one another. Ginevra turns to Fernanda with tears in her eyes and says, "I'm sorry for everything. I was wrong." Haunted by the thought that Musette might be killed, they come up with a plan to rescue him. Late at night, they sneak to the prison, bringing with them a turtle carrying a tiny candle on its back. As the flickering light moves through the corridors, the soldiers follow it, thinking it's something supernatural. While the guards are distracted, the sisters sneak in and free Musette. They leave a dummy in his place and disguise Musette in one of their habits to avoid suspicion. Together, they flee into the forest. As they run through the woods, they run into Sister Maria, who is on her way to meet Father Tommaso. The two reunite with joy. They had loved each other in secret, but were always kept apart by duty. Just as they embrace, they hear rustling. They hide quickly as the group of sisters passes by. Fernanda pauses, spotting a familiar figure in the distance. "Is that my donkey? What is it doing here?" Ginevra nudges her. "Come on, don't worry about it." After they leave, Maria and Father Tommaso peek out from their hiding place, watching the girls disappear into the trees. Realizing what just happened, they exchange amused glances and smile. The sisters had done something reckless, yes, but also something brave. And for the first time, the silence around them feels lighter.